Hey, welcome back to the channel, everyone. The Daunt here. As always, thank you all for the continued support. I really do appreciate it. Today we've got a 2 versus 2 on the Grave map from the Finest Hour DLC, but with a bit of a twist. This is going to be an early war match, which is probably my least played war period overall. On top of that, this is actually my first time ever playing early war as the British as well, so everything you're about to see is brand new for me. You're basically going to be experiencing it with me in real time as we figure things out, adapt, and see what kind of works here. So, should be a fun one. Let's get into the game. So as I was saying, we are playing as the British on Grave. I went... Oh God, I don't even know. What is this? The offensive doctrine, maybe? I think. One thing I immediately noticed, squads are crazy cheap. And we are actually playing with a good buddy of mine. His name is Jesse Rockford. He's an Aussie, great guy. Surprisingly, we have some of the best games, I think, as 2v2 partners. Even though our pings are really atrocious. I think he's rocking like a 250 ping right now, but I don't know, never complains about the lag for the most part, maybe here and there when it spikes, but he is a phenomenal player. Definitely a guy I am always happy to team up with. So definitely can count on him, and thankfully, compared to the last episode on this map that we played, where I did have to hard carry, Jesse knows what he's doing. So we can see on the mini map, he's got a massive blob of infantry heading to middle, and some guys going to the left, which I am so thankful for. I'm hitting up the right with one main squad. I'm hitting kind of the mid right with another, and then further towards the middle with a recon squad. All rifles though, so gonna be a bit annoying with that. But yeah, cheap infantry for early war for the Brits. Small squads though, seven man squads. I think the German squads are definitely bigger in early war, most of them at least. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Who are we going up against? I know one guy's name is Pom Pom, I believe is how you pronounce it. I do believe we are directly facing him right now on the side as well. As there's our first minor performance drop. But nothing too helter-skelter there, thankfully. And I have no idea what to call in early war. Completely different from late war. I know some of the vehicles from my conquest sections with Maxkov, so I've got some experience with it, but yeah, I've got no idea otherwise what works, what doesn't work, what's good. If you guys got any tips, anyone that plays mid-war, or mid-war and early war, I guess, because I don't really know mid-war either, but especially early war, if anyone's got any tips, good doctrines to take, what to call in, what not to call in, I would very much appreciate it. You'll really see throughout this video here that I kind of have no idea what to call in, and a lot of my call-ins, we'll just say we'll leave it to the video, but it does not work out as they normally do in late war, to say the least. I am very much more comfortable with late war, for sure. But I do decide to go with the Morris CS9. I did run this vehicle in one of the Conquest episodes for a couple episodes there with Max. It's a nifty little vehicle. Bren gun and a AT rifle on it. A boy's AT, so phenomenal. Jesse's pinging because he is digging in on the other side of the berm. So we'll be in open line of sight, but at the very least, if you can get those down, we'll have some nice dug-in positions that are going to prevent them from pushing up on this side. So I'm loving it. And Jesse and I obviously have our communication down. So he's already calling out that he's having some issues on the left side. So I'm immediately going to call in a truck full of a squad to get over there to try to help him out. So communication is key in team games, especially 2v2s. 3v3s, I feel like it's a little different. Or at least the luck maybe I have is a little different. I'm sure it still matters. But 2v2s, it's, you know, obviously just you and your partner. So you really got to coordinate and talk and figure it out. Don't forget to ask for help when needed. You know, rely on each other for buys and things like that. But we do clear out Pumatao? Yeah, Pumatao. Might also be Southeast Asia. But we clear out his initial squad that was giving us trouble. So we're going to move up, start digging in some of these positions here. We've officially got this compound, which is great. And we can kind of get these guys into the buildings and maybe focus a little bit more on the other side of the map now, where we did call in that truck. So we hit the 5-minute mark, and so far we are doing phenomenal. We're at a 4 cap compared to 1. So we are ticking up fast. We're already almost at 500. Halfway there. Or, yeah, halfway through 400, I should say. I'm going to grab the boys AT out of the truck before it self-detonates. And then I noticed there was a guy in this bunker, so we are going to try to get him out of there. And hopefully we can get him out. Looks like we do shoot him, and then we'll move up, kind of take a nice flanking position there. Jesse's got a Bren in the middle, and we do get a 231 8-rad coming up against us on our side from Puma. So I'm going to call in a Cruiser Mark III to my side. Although it's a light tank, that thing is speedy. Zipping across the map back there. And I also have the Morris to kind of contend with that too. But first I want to deal with this MG car. Up-armored MG car, I guess. And thankfully this boys AT is just what we needed. So nice firing position through the window to deal with that. Got a great hold in the middle. Looks like Jesse has a Bren carrier call-in, I would assume, because he's got a mortar carrier. I'm assuming, I doubt it's a Wasp, like in late war, but probably a regular Bren, maybe a boys AT Bren, and then the mortar. But with the Mark III, we are going to try to go head-to-head with the 231. He must have ducked. I don't know how we missed there. And this thing, just as Jesse says, eats me. It instantly kills the crew. They call out. Crazy. The turret is broken. We can still kind of man it and maybe deal with it, but I'm trying to see if any of my guys have AT grenades. Looks like Jesse might be coming to try to help with the boys AT carrier. I don't know how much that's going to do against it, unfortunately. I am bringing the Morris over as well. But I don't realize something must have been killing the crew in the middle. Maybe that's static. I'm assuming it's an MG. But we're down to 1 guy, so I'm immediately going to try to get this rifleman in it. Going to see if this grenade maybe does anything against it. Although this guy's got the weakest throw in existence, so it hardly goes anywhere. We pull up, we get a shot off, and he kills the crew. Jesse's calling for a truck, so I'll immediately get it. And thankfully, he is calling in a 2-pounder. So again, perfect communication. I'm more than happy to give him that truck, waste that MP. It's not even a waste of MP, but, you know, waste my own MP to support him, because he's going to bring that thing right on over to me, as he's pointing out on the mini-map. So hopefully that should deal with that, as he's also calling in, or calling out the AA half-track there. I have no idea what doctrine that is. And this sneaky mother steals the cruiser. So I couldn't get the crew up in there quick enough. Really unfortunate. I probably should have crewed it when I could have. I didn't. Yeah, absolutely a mistake. Looking to see what I can call in at this point to try to deal with that. I got nothing. Jesse's got the AT gun up, and it is thankfully doing some work against that. So it looks like it may have engined it there. And Puma's starting to push into the point from that bridge side now, where he's been able to kind of funnel in his infantry. And this may just be my lack of knowledge, but I mean, I truly have no idea what to call in. Calling out the Brens as they're just kind of sitting ducks to this thing coming up over the bridge, or over the berm. Jesse's trying to bring this thing up over the bridge. I'm rushing these guys up as a distraction because I know the Morris has the boys still. Jesse's pinged that 231, thankfully, from there. We're going to get a shot off. Crew stun. Crew stun. Probably goes right through, and then we unfortunately bite it before we can do anything else, which is terrible. And my lack of buying has kind of left me very minimal on infantry here. I've got plenty that I can get, but I'm wasting it on a cruiser Mark IV, which probably a bad buy. I should have gotten this infantry out earlier. Probably should have gone vet infantry as well, or tier 3 infantry, and kept spamming that. We've still got this left side pretty well locked, and we still have a 4 cap. So 10 and almost a half minutes in, we're at 760 already. So I mean, we're flying. We're doing great. I don't know if we're feeling great, but I was feeling great before that 231 rolled out and just went to town on me. I'm going to take some pot shots at the AA carrier. Just kind of going back and forth behind the building, ducking in behind it after every couple shots. Trying to see if I can do some engine damage, but nothing. And I'm bringing up the cruiser Mark IV to try to deal with the 231 that is still rolling around. This thing is the bane of my existence right now. And this stupid berm. I can't see it, so I roll up. He immediately pens me. Crew shocks me twice. I hit the post, sandbag, I don't know, hit the post again. He kills the commander. He rolls up perfectly, kills the driver, kills the gunner. Engine broken, crew shocked. Engine damage. Can't do anything. Calling it out to Jesse. As Jesse is pinging the Morris to take that out, and he's trying. My reinforcement infantry is here, so I'm going to just get them into the point for now. I didn't forget about the AA half track, so I am going to try to deal with that. Looks like Jesse did take out the 231 on that right side, though, since it is down. So thankfully, he's at least able to deal with it. They do have a plane rolling in. I've got no idea where that's going for. We do finally get the engine on that thing. And now I've got to immediately switch back over to this side. Because Puma is making a push and having some great success with grenades. And I have no extra infantry there. Which is terrible. I should have been calling in infantry well in advance. And instead I go with another cruiser for the middle. So I'm just spamming light cruisers. Which is, I mean, I would never normally recommend doing that. They're cheap, but you need infantry. This game is mainly about infantry with supporting vehicles. As Puma's now able to just kind of take advantage. Look at this guy. Tanks one shot. The Bren gets 3 shots and runs out of ammo, and then he just turns around, 360s him. Absolutely insane. And now he's fully entrenched himself in my point, which is really unfortunate. So my last 3 guys are going to kind of do something there, maybe. There's a Panzer 1 from, who's that, Chems, looks like the other guy. 13 minutes in, just calling it out. So I get 1 shot into its side. I get killed by infantry. I'm going to direct control the cruiser and bring this thing up initially. But I realize how lacking I am here. So I need to get something up. And I have options, but I'm kind of just waiting for the vet infantry. So we bring in yet another cruiser Mark III. Mark II's up in the middle. So we'll fire through the truck, take out the half track that was giving Jesse some problems here. So we're here to help Jesse. Jesse's pinging the original cruiser, or my second cruiser, because they are repairing it. So I'm immediately just going to take it out. I don't care if it's a loss at this point. I'd rather them not get back in it. And I'm going to bring in some guards as well to that right side, because I do need the infantry there. See? Look at that. Another cruiser running right around, so we got to deal with that. Jesse and I are both going for it. That cruiser's going for my other cruiser in the middle. So I'm going to immediately switch over to this one. Direct control it. Kablooey! Got his ass. One shot. So that light armor on light armor engagement does end well for us at the very least, but yeah. It's got no armor, hence being a light tank. So it's so frustrating. We're at tier 2. I decided to go with a light howitzer / artillery call-in. I don't normally do that, but I know from playing as like the Germans and the Soviets in early war. Early war games usually come down to artillery in the end. I feel like it's almost always an artillery spam, which I'm not that fond of. It's a lot of heavy micro, especially like in late war. I mean, I don't know if I have a video out yet of me really using artillery all that much. So, we'll see. First time for everything, right? So I'm going to try to set up this 18-pounder Mark IV and in a position where I can kind of hit middle and my right point. I've got a good angle here, but I don't have a good angle on the right, so I'm going to bring it back a little more. I do see the flak coming in, so they're going to set that thing up, and that thing's going to decimate the tanks in the middle. I'm trying to get this secondary squad in the truck up, get the artillery set up, and now I realize I've got to switch over to deal with this thing. So I'm going to try to direct control with AP because I want to try to take out the gun itself. I don't know if the HE on this thing would blow it up, truthfully. We get some decent hits, but I think it's on the gun shield. And then he does turret break me. So we're going to switch back over. Jesse's calling to get the truck so that he can bomb it. Well, that thing might honestly take out the plane itself. I try one shot, but with the turret broken, we just can't do anything. So we'll call that out. And we're going to move this thing up finally to try to deal with that as well, since we had the opportunity there. And while we were doing that, we did lose the new cruiser to something. No idea what. Something over here did it. But we're going to direct control the truck and run over some of these guys here. I have no idea. What are they? Gerbjägers, I think? Vet riflemen, maybe, by the kill feed. So we're going to be annoying. Try to take out some of the defensive terrain. Try to put them down to half health as well, just by running them over. Self-destruct the truck there, because I don't want it. It's just going to take up CP. Which is why some of these like truck and half-track call-ins aren't the best sometimes. Because if they don't die, they just kind of eat CP on you, slowly but surely. Looking at the map, we have completely lost the middle. They're making a hard push for the left now, and they have the right, although I am slightly decapping it. So, well, I was slightly decapping it, but now there is a 2-3-1, and that might be the culprit that took out the cruiser rolling through. So, both of those squads are done. I'm trying to get the 18-pounder out of this little area so I can get a better position, but I am struggling to get over the trench. It was easy enough to get in there. Can hardly get out. Can get the gun out. Can't get the truck out. So we'll take some shots. Put this thing on attack ground just in the area while our new squad is kind of coming in here. And we'll call in a secondary squad as well. I'm kind of learning from my mistakes and realizing I just need to continue to buy infantry at this point since I'm just getting overrun. And I can't do anything to the vehicles. And thankfully, Jesse is also pushing on this side. So he's kind of pushed into the middle, cutting off the bridge and kind of their entrance. And he also has a Matilda Mark, is that 5? Yeah, Mark 5 CS. So close support Matilda, which is heavy armor. So very, very thankful for that. That's going to be super helpful, especially with dealing with some of this infantry. We definitely need to be careful because of the 231 and the fact that we are kind of bunched up here. Hopefully Jesse can deal with this 231 because we have nothing to deal with it right now other than this 18-pounder, but it's relying on artillery and it's unvetted, so there's not much it's going to do. So at this point, I decide to just stack this building and get everyone prone. If he can't kill them inside the building and I can keep the cap weight, I'll be happy. We finally back this thing up because we're out of range. We get over the trench. We're skirting the trench. I rehook it. And then the AI decides to drive back into the trench. I swear this thing is the bane of my existence right now. I've wasted so much time and precious clicks that I could be doing something else trying to get this thing out. So frustrating. So I decided to look back over here to see the damage. I'm gonna get this guy back down. I can't do anything other than just lay there. Jesse's thankfully doing some great work with the Matilda on the advancing infantry. We're gonna call in a cruiser tank again. And we're gonna try to get this thing out. And I call it out because it's kind of just hilarious at this point. Hilarious and sad. And I try a running drive over it, and I finally make it out. So we are free. I've learned my lesson. I'm never going to go back in there again. And then I run into the Belgian king. Swear to God, I'm drunk. And I wasn't. There was no beverages consumed, although I'm going to say this Morris C8 Fat driver is absolutely inebriated. But in the meantime, Jesse's been able to thankfully deal with the 231. Engine is on fire. We're getting the 18-pounder set up to take out this tree first and foremost, and then hopefully be able to help take out some of the infantry here. Puma, to his credit, is doing something very smart. He's pushed one guy up onto the building, and I don't know if you saw in the distance, he ran a guy up to the burning 231 and grabbed the TNT charge out of it. And suicides, but takes out the building and all the Black Watch that were in there, minus the Bren Gunner. Very smart, to his credit. Absolutely a genius move. Rinsed me and has now taken the point back, and I yet again have no infantry there. Although I do have a truck full coming up and another squad. So at this point, Jesse's kind of holding down the majority of the map while I'm just focused on one point. This is terrible. I mean, it's terrible, truly, gameplay for me. But I kind of need to take this point and hold it to then have us be able to push the middle. Because Jesse's also now diverting troops and resources my way because I can't hold it. So everything he has to divert to my side is a waste that could either be going to the middle point or his left point. So I need to get this thing back. And I need to hold it. I can't just take it and then immediately get pushed out. So we're pushing in with these two squads now. I do see something up top on the mini-map. I'm going to get this cruiser repaired. We're going to keep pushing up. And we're going to call in more infantry over to the middle now to kind of help Jesse out. We finally look at what's set up. It is the flak gun. Most likely the same one, I would assume, unless Jesse was able to deal with it, because I certainly haven't. Puma's got more infantry pushing into the left, and he still has guys over on the right as well, behind this berm and in that house. So we're going to have to deal with them. We have the other cruiser there to support as well. Although at this rate, and with my luck with the vehicles, I'm not really expecting it to do anything. A little grenade micro, we do force him to kind of push out. I'm hoping he pushes up. In the background, we do get the 18-pounder to take out the Flak 41. So that is a heavy piece of DP gone for them, thankfully. And we have finally done enough to actually neutralize this point and cap it. So we're doing good. I'm immediately going to call in another guard section to get up there. And I'm going to continue firing the 18-pounder at pretty much all the buildings, as I know they are there. We finally have a 3 cap. Jesse's calling out the Matilda, because he is a hero. He's doing work. And I immediately call out that a plane is coming for it, because I don't think he sees it immediately. So he's rushing as much as he can. The plane gets the driver from the ammo truck. Looks like Matilda gets out of the way. They're rushing up the truck that was carrying, or the half track, I mean, the STKFZ-7 that was carrying the flak. The truck without a driver drives into the bridge and flips. So terrible luck there. Puma is recapping this point. I still haven't been able to fully get him out, or this new squad has just been able to kind of sneak in. So we're back to kind of dealing with this, although we thankfully have numbers. So I'm hoping this will be the time, especially with these guards coming in. And it does look like they have reflipped the middle as well from us. So we had it for a second, and now we've lost it. And we're slowly letting them come back in to this game. What was what could have potentially been a quickest 2v2 we've had recently is now turning into a slugfest. Heavy infantry slugfest with light tank mix. But Jesse has what I'm assuming was a great plane on that side, taking out quite a bit. Although he still hasn't been able to kind of retake it. The guards are finally flipping the cap here. And we've done quite a bit of damage to these buildings as well. So we're getting rid of a lot of the firing lines that they kind of have. And I decided to take out this one as well. But I do have to take out the tree first to be able to do that. It's always a level of deforestation that needs to occur. But with both of these buildings destroyed, I feel like I will finally be able to push Puma out of here fully. And surprisingly, this guy has Molotovs. So it's the first guy I've seen with some type of AT capability in any of the squads that I've called in this game. So it's nice to see that there are some in the guards that do have them. So we're going to move up with the 18-pounder firing, getting the guys out of the cover. I'm calling out the Panzer IV that's coming up for Jesse. Looks like there's a mortar that's also pinging the middle as well. So the middle is just flipping back and forth, unfortunately. But we are going to switch targets with the 18-pounder now over to the middle. And I'm going to get the drunk Morris driver, the CFAT driver, to run into the middle as well, as it is time for him to go. And we'll move up. Finally deal with some of these guys. Thankfully, we've made a lot of holes and openings. We're going to direct control this guy here. And finally get our position back. It has been a long time coming. I don't think we've held this position steadily since maybe the 10-12 minute mark. So a reprieve finally on that side. So now we can devote our time and our resources to helping Jesse out in the middle, since he's been pulling weight here. I try to self-destruct the Morris in a position where it might be able to do some real damage. It's set up fairly nicely, but I don't know how big of an explosion this is going to be. So maybe we get something. We'll see when it goes off. It does nothing, so that's great. The other cruiser's back up. We did call in tank crew, so we will have 2 cruisers to roll around with, which is fantastic. And now we're just going to quickly dig in some positions to make it a little bit harder for them to retake this area if they do decide to do so. But with that, we have officially reached the 30-minute mark with Tier 3. And we will have an important decision to make in terms of our Tier 3 buy shortly. Because I have no idea what to call in or what to use. What's good, what isn't good, zero clue. So we'll get some of these guards up. We're going to try to recap this point. Jesse's making some work on the left as well, it looks like. I don't know if he's capping or decapping at this rate. That point is also flipped hands heavily. The guards with their cap weight, thankfully, are doing some work. We see we've got the Panzer IV, 2 packs, I believe that was, sitting over there. They're rushing up a half-track. Probably was carrying one of the guns. It's the KFZ-10. Jesse's going head-to-head with the Panzer IV. And he's taking damage, and sounds like he did get tracked, unfortunately. So we're going to try to focus fire on the pack. I know this half-track is still here sitting behind the berm. We've lost line of sight. So we're going to try to move up with the AT rifle to deal with it. We do see it, but the cruiser does deal with it. And we are going to just recruit this one as well. But with our advanced positions, thankfully, we do catch Puma out in the distance. So we will give him pause from coming. We see the SIG gun there. Jesse's pulling up another Matilda CS. We're going to switch targets to the SIG. And I'm trying to decide which artillery to get for Tier 3. And I do decide to go with I think that was the 4.5, if I'm not mistaken. And what you'll see here is that I immediately decrew one of the crewmen from my 18-pounder. My goal with that is to actually switch it with one of the crew, or switch him, I should say, with one of the crew that's in the new artillery call-in, to immediately give that new gun Veteran C2. Since it'll transfer over. So that's immediately going to boost up the accuracy and the vet level. So I'm hoping this 4.5 inch will then be able to be a little more accurate and maybe do a little more damage when I need it to. I didn't go with the heavy guns. I went with one of the lighter ones. Again, I got no idea if that was the right call or not. We're going to stick with it. But yeah, if anyone knows differently or anyone has different recommendations for one of those other 2 artillery pieces, please let me know. Would love to hear. So I was trying to set this thing up to have a straight shot down the bridge, try to start clearing out the infantry there. I realize it's going to ultimately hit the top of the bridge girders on my side. So I'm going to get him out. The truck driver immediately backs it up into the static bunker. Jesse's calling out another truck, which I'm assuming is something for Tier 3. So I'm immediately going to bring over the 18-pounder to try to help Jesse on this side. I'm going to move around the 4.5 inch. We're going to try to get a decent shot on this clump of infantry. And we absolutely hit it. I will 100% attest that is the veteran C2 guy that we just put on it, and they're now vet 3, so even better accuracy. Jesse was calling in a plane thinking he had the jump on what turns out to be a Morser, heavy artillery gun for them, but he is slightly off in positioning. Our second shot takes out another 5 guys, so already we're doing fantastic there. We're going to set up the 18-pounder to start hitting this left point. They haven't applied any pressure back onto the right, thankfully. So finally we can have a breather. We immediately orient the 4.5 inch that way as well. And in the distance, we do see that Jesse is getting very aggressive. He's trying to go for the Morser. Does miss, unfortunately. The Morser misses as well. So now he's trying to back up. He's got some supporting infantry, but as you can see on the mini-map, there is a swarm happening around him, and it looks like, unfortunately, in the distance there briefly, he does go down as he's calling it out. And apparently none of his infantry could hit anything. So, unfortunately, there goes his second Matilda. I like the play. I mean, you know, I'm not going to deny it. It was definitely risky, but taking out that Morser was a juicy target. And, I mean, we're sitting at 909. And we're recapping mid at this point, so as long as we can hold one of the points, this game should be ours in the bag. And I've just called in 2 squads of guards as well to kind of reinforce in the middle. So I'm hoping to hold this midpoint and not let it up now if we can't avoid it. Although that Morser will do some damage to us. So I am checking the range, trying to see if I've got anything, how close I got to get. They do have another AA. I think that's actually an anti-air, anti-tank variant for that one. So they do have another one. They are bringing it up. We're going to immediately aim with the 4.5 inch, and we do nearly direct impact it. So that thing is done phenomenal. Jesse's saying to run. I don't see anything on the map, but I do hear it. And he did make the right call because there is a plane coming in, which looks like it was on angle. So now I'm playing Tokyo Drift, driving around all the hedgehogs to get out of here. I've gone way further than I need to, but now I'm in a kind of a bad position, and I stupidly drive into one when I should have just kept going around. So I'll tell the AI to do it. Looks like the plane bombed the bridge, although a bad spot for it. I'm going to bring in a Vickers. Static MG, just to bring up some heavy MG support as well. And we're going to start kind of hitting this point even further, especially considering they had a static MG 34 there. Although we do go short on that one, unfortunately. So I am going to bring it back, considering it seems to be doing better the further back it is. So they're getting desperate. They are rushing up the Panzer IV F1. So we're going to immediately reorient the artillery pieces to fire at it with HE. And I did also call both cruisers to move up as well in support. So we're going to try to do both. And we'll go in with the cruisers. We've got a decent line of sight once we're in range. Good side shot. We do miss the first shot there, though. Second cruiser's moving up. We hit them, take out a couple crew. That one does some damage. That one does some damage. Artillery's coming in as well. This one switched to AP, as I would assume it was also used for direct anti-tank, unfortunately. I'm going to bring in a Matilda Mark I with the MGs, because I figured that might do some damage. And the 4.5 inch takes out the Panzer IV. Well, that thing is definitely my MVP so far, I'll say. It's already vet 4. Would be vet 2 if we didn't bring in the other guy. But we've kind of cleared out enough that I can kind of run up this guy, get some grenades in, and we see this massive huddle that I'm pinging for Jesse of guys here. And it turns out there was a lieutenant in there. We get 2 of them, and one of them is the lieutenant. So that's why the cap was going back and forth so much. Now that that's done, we've kind of got a nice setup here with our guys. Jesse throws a grenade a bit short. Lag. All right, I can understand why that happened then. So a bit unfortunate with that Aussie ping playing on an East Coast server. They do bring in another Panzer IV. He does turret one of the cruisers. The other cruiser gets a nice shot though and does decrew him. So I mean, these cruisers, for their light armor, when they do have the opportunity to hit, they hit hard, which is nice. We've pretty much cleared out the middle now. Not much here. I'm just going to continue focus firing with the artillery as the Matilda comes up. The Vickers is set up in a terrible place behind a half track, but I don't even think I noticed at this point. I only noticed now in the recording. And we're a little far away still to try to hit the Morser, so I'm going to try to move it up after another shot onto the bridge. So it doesn't look like there's much, maybe a guy or 2 there. We're doing fairly well, and Jesse's now feeling confident that he can kind of make a push onto their point. And it looks like he is going to be able to decap it as well. So I'm going to start taking some pot shots into the back where I know the Morser was. But with this, we are pretty close to this being game. 988 now. So this should do it. It was very tense for a little bit there. Puma calls GG, so we'll hit him back. But I hope you guys enjoyed something a little different from the late war. Definitely fun. I have no idea what I'm doing, but maybe we'll get some more of these games in the future. Hope you enjoyed.